Okay. So today's class number 16 of Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. And today's class equal to all. So it says Talmud Yerushalmi states that the reward for studying the Torah is equivalent to all other mitzvahs combined, and the punishment for speaking Lashon Hara is equivalent to all other mitzvahs combined. So as we said before, that's what it's from the prayer in the morning. After the blessing of the Torah, it's one of the things that we learn. So we learn from Chumash, we learn from Talmud, and we learn from Mishnah, some things, right? After the blessing in Torah in the morning. And this is piece that we learn that studying of the Torah is equivalent to all of the mitzvahs, and Lashon Hara is equivalent to all of the sins combined. Thus, the antithesis of the Torah study is the greatest of all mitzvahs is Lashon Hara. This respective primacy can be explained as follows. On of the four basic elements of the nature, fire, wind, water, and earth, as we said before, so all of the elements in the world are created one of four, or a combination of these four elements. I think a human being that's if I'm not mistaken, can consist of all four of them. I think maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe not fire, but wind. Yeah, we breathe, right? Water for sure. A lot of water in our body, and earth. That's from where the Adam was built. I think fire also. Not sure. The intangible fire and wind are far more powerful than the tangible fire, water, and earth. Right. So, meaning tangible is something that you can touch, right? Intangible that more spiritual, which is fire and wind. So on one hand they're more spiritual, right? And on another hand they're more powerful than tangible. Fire can engulf material objects and totally destroy them, and the power of the wind is awesome, as it is written, a great and mighty wind which breaks apart mountains and shatters stones. Okay, it's from Melachim 11:19. The same is true in spiritual realm. The Torah study impacts the upper worlds in a way that no other mitzvah can. So when we learn Torah, it's not like we learn, we read the books, right, to get some academic knowledge. It's not. When we create, when we learn the Torah, we create this spiritual energy in the world that goes up into Shemayim, and it stays also here. So it's not so because we learn the Torah, we allow the world to exist, no more, no less. This is because all of the other mitzvah are related to the physical. For example, right? All other mitzvah except the mitzvah of the Torah. To fulfill one of the, for example, to fulfill the mitzvah of Tzitzis, one dons a garment. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, if you say blessing, you did not put the garment, so you did not fulfill anything, right? A material object, meaning the tzitzis. A lulav is held a physical act. Right, on Sukkot we take lulav and esrog. A shofar must be blown, also physical act, etc. Torah study, however, is performed through the power of speech, which essentially is a function of the soul. Right, and we said that Targum translate and man becomes living being. In the Bereshis, he translated that man becomes speaking spirit. So that's so essence of the person is that he can speak, he can communicate, he can learn Torah, he can pray, he can do many things. Give comfort to somebody with a speech. Yes.
I have a question. So basically, let's say Torah study. It only counts as Torah study when you say the words out loud?
When you say the words out loud, you get a bigger reward.
Okay.
Because several of your organs are getting involved. Your eyes, of course, right? You read. Your ears, because you hear yourself, and your mouth.
Got it.
So with one act, you can accomplish more. And plus, it's when person says out loud and he hears himself talking, it's better for understanding.
I understand.
So and especially for prayer, so you have to say out loud. At least for yourself to hear. Of course, you cannot bother other people to say very loud, but quietly. So, but you must hear yourself talking. And many people do have this mistake, making this mistake. So don't look at them as the Rabbi Reuben always say. We don't learn from what people do. We learn from books. That's people do many things, but Baruch HaShem. This is what the reward of the Torah study is equivalent to all other mitzvahs combined. Okay, because it's function of the soul. Continue. The converse is true of sin. The spiritual damage caused by Lashon Hara is infinitely greater than caused by other transgressions, because it is committed through the power of speech. So same power of speech, right? When you, as we said, you can be one of the partners in creation of HaShem, meaning every day that helping to. It's not like he needs help, but his part be his partner in creation of the world every day. By what? By learning Torah. And on one hand, like a person can say, "I am a partner of HaShem. HaShem needs partners." That's exactly the truth. That's how he created Torah, and he did not finish it. He left something to our rabbi's interpretation, depending on time, depending on circumstances. And why? Because he wants them to be not a robots, but he wants them to Torah to be alive, right? But maybe a good example would be like a Lego. So you have all of these pieces, they're true, and you just put them together. But in order to put them together, you need to have like full picture of the Torah. So only great rabbis can put these pieces together and say, this is what HaShem meant. We, on our level, cannot do that. Baruch HaShem. On another hand, I say, Baruch HaShem, I don't want this responsibility. Okay. Its effect, okay, so it says speech, powerful speech. Its effect in the upper spheres is awesome in our Lashon Hara. Therefore, its punishment is equivalent to all of other sins combined. When somebody said a bad thing, I mean, we're going to see all of different scenarios that can happen in the life of a person in this book, and see what kind of damage can occur. Okay, so let's stop here, and we continue with Kitzur. So I'm learning from Arskov edition. In my book it's Siman 9, so it's Siman like a big paragraph, and Halach number 4, and it says at the time that the Tzitzis. Okay, so just a quick review for Jonathan that joined us. So the laws of Tzitzis, we said that it has to. The law is to tie Tzitzis in the right place. And last time we said that it has to be in a corner, and we did describe exactly. So if he wants, we can send the videos of the last time, audios of the last time. So we describe exactly what the measurement of the corner. So basically today, when you go in a store and buy a ready garment, there is no problem, right? So we did exactly according to the highest standard. But in olden days, and people were doing their own Tzitzis, and even today. So there is no obligation for you to go in a store and to buy Tzitzis. So basically, if you go by all of the details, you can tie your own Tzitzis. There are YouTube videos that show you how to tie the Tzitzis. You just buy the kosher string. As we said last time, it has to be made for the mitzvah of tzitzis, and that's it. You're on. Okay, so number 4. If at the time of the tzitzis were tied onto the garment, the hole was at the proper distance from the end of the garment, and afterwards the hole tore slightly, possible, right? Or the end of the talus tore or frayed. So okay, so let's understand what it says here. So it's possible that so today we have all of this like extra like support around the hole, but it's very possible that it can tear. I mean, somebody pulled it, it got stuck somewhere, right? That it got stuck, or the edge of the garment that got worn out, right? So basically now they're saying that the tzitzis is less than this optimal amount distance from the corner, right? So what do they do? So it says this result that now tzitzis hangs less than minimum distance from the end of the garment. Okay, it does not become invalid because of this. But the Torah did not require that the tzitzis are not beneath the corner, except at the time of tzitzis actually made. It is tight upon garment. So here's it's very interesting. So it says if you remember how we say in Shema, you say you have to tie them to your garments, to the corner of the garment. So the mitzvah one more time is to tie them. So basically, if you did everything correctly, and then it tore, right? So basically, you can fix it. You can sew up, and there is no problem. So it did not become invalid. Why? Because the Torah says, the verse in Bamidbar 15:36 states, they shall make themselves tzitzis on the corners of the garment. As we just said, there is requirement that they be on the corners of the garment and not beneath the corner. It is only when they're being made, exactly as we explained. So the point is, when they made, they have to be made correctly. Okay. Nevertheless, ideally, it is good to make a binding around the hole. That's exactly what they do in all of our tzitzis, in which the strings are placed. See below CF17. Okay, we're going to learn that. And likewise, the binding of the edge of the talus garment. So that's exactly like today. All of these details are taken care of. Okay, to prevent fraying, meaning the edge of the garment, so that the distance between the hole and the end of the garment does not become less than the thumb joint long. So this is the minimum thumb joint, right? Thumb joint long, as we said last time, it's me. Okay. Although the tzitzis would be valid if this occurs, this precaution is taken so that one can avoid wearing tzitzis that appears invalid to the people who do not know the halacha. Okay. So we have to explain it. So first of all, so we said if we tie the thumb correctly and that it become invalid, there is no problem. You can continue wearing. But we said we have this concept of muddy sign, and muddy sign means that the way the eyes see, right? So like eyes of onlookers, so they might see you and learn wrong things. So they see that it's very close to the corner, right? And they might think that maybe this is good, right? So I mean, they didn't know that when you tied them or you bought them, it was 100% kosher, and it was a problem only after that. Okay, so we have to be very careful when what we project to other people, and we're going to learn, especially in the Halachos of Shabbos. We're trying like very, very careful, like when people do not know what's going on and they see you and they might suspect something wrong. For example, what would be the example? They ask a question if you can use a dryer. on Shabbos, right? So basically, what's the problem? So let's say you wash your clothes, right? You wash, and Shabbos let's say starts in 5 minutes, candlelight, let's say, and you don't need all the clothes, and you want to put it in into the dryer. So basically, it can dry on Shabbos. You're not doing anything, right? But it says maybe if it's like your windows open and somebody would hear your dryer working, so they would say, this guy they Michal Shabbos. You understand? So even though you did everything correctly, you press the button like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes before Shabbos, you did everything correctly, but they might suspect you, or they might learn something wrong. That maybe it is allowed to use dryer or to use the washing machine on Shabbos, which is as we understand the problem. Okay, that's this concept. Okay. So next halacha number 5. So if any questions, you can ask me. If not, we continue. Okay, halacha number 5. The Torah refers to the tzitzis with braided tassels. Was the braided tassels and tzitzis, fringes. Okay, so there are two words for Torah. In Torah for tzitzis. Okay, so one in Varim, they have a braided tassels, and that's how we have them braided, right? And tzitzis fringes. Okay. Learn from this that the Tzitzis Tassels must consist of both braided portion and a portion that the free hanging string. So that's so it's very interesting when you learn all the details, you see how halacha develops, right? So how sage is like understood over the detail, right? It should be braided as we have for part of it, and it should be free hanging, which is longer part of it, let's say. This here sets out on the length of the tassel in the hanging thing, the proportion to the braided and to the free hanging portion. Both of these measurements are rabbinic origin, as we understand. Okay, so basically, what is the proportion between the one that stuff the where is I don't know if you can see. So where you have all of the nuts braided, and this one where you have free tzitzis, free hanging.
I think it's 18 inches, right?
We're going to learn. We're going to learn. So okay, one second. It is a custom to make a tzitzis. So when you say 18 inches, so here is we learn halacha. We need to know what is the minimum requirement, basically, right? So okay, minimum up to now it's good. For example, but if it's less than an inch, let's say, it's not good. Let's say okay. So let's see. The custom to make tzitzis tassels, 5 sets double nuts. Okay, so if you count your nuts, so it should be 5 nuts. Okay. Creating between them 4 links. There is a spaces between the nuts that are filled with the wound string. So now we're going into very interesting detail. So we have 4 nuts. Of course, before in between 4 nuts, you have these 4 spaces. Only 4 between 5. And there is one comment in the 5 sets of nuts set to remind a person about 5 books of the Torah. So it's not for nothing, right? 5 books of the Torah. See also the CF1, which states that the number is also part of the calculation alluding to 613 commandments. As we said, tzitzis is 600 numerical value of tzitzis. You have 5 nuts, right? And you have 8 strings, like on one. So altogether 613. Okay, continue. The exact specification of the nuts and links is now described. So 5 nuts, 4 links. This is 1 inserts the 4 strings into the hole, so that the hole of each string hangs from the side of the hole and half of the other side. So basically, like you even around. So one more time, the way like to tie the tzitzis, it's when you have garment, the first garment, you make holes and then you tie tzitzis. So it would be easier just to do it opposite, to make maybe the nuts and then put it on a garment. But that's not how we do it. So it's all of this is manual. They handle it. Of course, they do it they're very quick, but so many of them. Okay. So they have these 4 strings, and they bend it in half. They put it through the holes. So for on one side, on another side, all together is 8. Commentary. There is the 2 ends of each 4 strings that were inserted through a hole. As we will see, one of the strings should be longer than the other 3. Okay. So that's always, if you see this, so one of them is always longer than another thing. Okay. As it will be around the others, to form the link. So one is not like longer, much longer, and you don't see like in this. I mean, they know exactly how to do that. So it's only a little different. But in a talus, when a big talus, like when the one that we use for crane, so you see sometimes it's stupid. Like it will maybe, I don't know, like 4 inches longer than others. So you see, like you cannot miss. But you always can cut them, like trim it, like before start wearing, you trim it if they're too long. It is inserted so that one side of the hole, on the one side of the hole, it's end the same length at the other string, and on the other side of the hole. Okay. After the winding process is completed, this string too will be equal in the length of other strings. So basically, they know after they do, I don't know, even I would figure out after, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 or 20, you will figure out exactly the length that you need for this extra, so you would not waste. So try not to waste things, especially that since it was made for a mitzvah. Okay, continue. He then ties them together, these 2 knots. Okay, together these 2 knots, the 4 ends on one side and of a unit, and 4 ends on the other side of the unit, and tying these 2 sides together, double knot. So basically, we're talking about. I don't know if you see it. So this is the 2 knots that we're talking about, right? So that's how you end. You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 4 spaces, and this final 2 knots. Okay. Continue. He then winds with a long string, referred to the shamash. So shamash is like a helper, literally assistant. Okay. It is used to wrap the other strings. Okay. Just as the system helps the other. Okay. 7 revolution around the other 7 strings. So one goes another 7 times. Okay. 7 times. 1 second. 7 strings. And then ties the all 8 strings again with another 2 knots. So basically, between between these links, you always have like double knot. Okay, so of course they would not untie. That's understandable. This is complete the first link. So I don't know if you can see. If I show you the picture, so you tell me if you can see. Can you see the picture?
I see it. I see it. In my book, I also have the picture. So
Okay. So first, all right. So very nice. So the first link, let's read what it says in the picture. So the first is two knots, right? So the link is 7 revolution, right? Then two knots, then 8, 11, and 13, and between them you have double knot. Okay. So basically, as it says, so that like still looking at the picture. So the knotted area is 1/3 of the length, right? And this free hanging is 2/3 of the length. Okay, so if you want longer, you can have longer. But that's like perfect ratio. Okay. Complete the link. Continue. He then winds a shamash another 8 revolutions. I mean, we have picture. It's understandable, but let's read it through. Around the other strings, then ties 2 knots to complete the second link. He then winds a shamash 11 revolution and ties another 2 knots. He completes the third link. He then winds the shamash around the final 13 revolutions and ties, so it's last one, right? And ties 2 more knots. Completed the fourth final link. There are now 4 links surrounded by 5 knots, 5 sets of double knots. Commentary. So, okay, I mean that's we just described what we saw in the picture. The Rabbinic custom with regard to the number of revolutions in each of the 4 links. Sefer Shulchan Aruch, Mishnah Brura. Mishnah Brura explains the reason for this custom cited by Kitzur as follows: the number of revolutions in the first 2 links combined equal 15. So it's 7 and 8, right? 15. The numerical value of name of HaShem. It means Yud Hey. Yud is 10 and Hey is 5, right? Together with 11 revolutions, the third link is 26. So 26, as we know, it's another name of HaShem. Wow. The numerical value of the full name of HaShem, that's the name Yud K Vav K that we pronounce Adoi, right? When we for a prayers. Okay. The fourth link contains 13 revolutions, equal to the numerical value to Echot, 1. Okay. Together, therefore, the 4 links read HaShem is 1. 1 is HaShem, right? Echot, HaShem is 1. Unbelievable. Okay, so it's all very it's our tradition, Kabbalistically, right? So other people, as it says in this commentary, they have different styles. How they, I'm not sure how many about the evolutions. What is the numbers they use? I'm not sure, but basically there is you can clearly see Ashkenazic style. Right, that's clearly, that's in the picture, that's what we use. There is Chabad style also, and there is Sephardic style. I think that there may be another style or 2, I'm not sure. But those are 3 like main ones. Okay, so let's continue. Since it is considered beneficial, the beautification of the tzitzis, that all of the links should be of equal length, despite the fact each one links is made up a different number of the revolution. Therefore, when one is winding the shamash string at first link, which contains smallest amount of revolution, he should distance the revolution slightly from each other. So basically, when you look at the tzitzit, that's what you see. One of them like very tight, and one of them are very loose. To make it beautiful. That's, I mean, you have to be professional. Not professional, I mean at least like practice. So he should distance revolutions slightly from each other. In a second link, in which there are more revolutions, he should bring them bit closer together by winding them bit a bit tighter, so that the length of the link will equal to the previous one. The same progression should be employed with the third and fourth link, and the most are much tighter, right? So that the four links will each be in equal length. So because it's like a string, it's it's soft, so you can press when needed. The measurement of the full length of this string tassels, when fully formed and knotted, is from uppermost knot to the closest to the garment until the end of the strings. Okay, so it's a very long sentence. Must be at least 12 thumb breadths long. Okay, so what does it mean? 12 thumb breadths long. So they say it is between 9.6 and 11.4 inches. This measurement, let's read and they explain. This measurement applies to the time that the tzitzis at the first are fixed to the garment. Regarding the halachas, that applies when some of the strings were severed, after being affixed properly. So we're going to see halacha number 13. So we're going to say, like, if it got ripped, what could be like minimum length that they say it's still kosher. So one more time, we're talking about the measurement of full length of Tzitzis Tassels when fully knotted, formed and knotted. So we're talking about complete. So it says from uppermost knot, and the knot that tied to the garment, to the closest to the garment, that is closest to the garment, right? Until the end of the strings. So basically, the must be at least 12 thumb. So basically, the shortest tzitzis must be like 10, like 9.5, 10 inches. So basically, like I was, what is it, 10 inches, like this, something like this. Okay, I think that the book is 10 inches or so. Okay, so that's minimum requirement. Okay. The beauty of the tzitzis is also requires. The beauty of the tzitzis also requires that all of the links together, there is a complete the braided part and the top of the tassel, should equal a third of the overall tzitzis tassel. So as we saw in the picture, so I mean when it's in a balance, it's always like makes sense, right? I mean looks better. Okay. And the part of the tassel that is made up of hanging strings should be 2/3 of the overall tassel, as we said, right? I mean, if it's that one is 1/3, so those the hanging strings 2/3. Okay, this is the optimal arrangement. However, even if the braided part makes up most, but not all of the tassels, meaning it's possible that this the hanging one is very short. We're going to learn. The tzitzit is still valid. Likewise, the fringes made up more than 2/3 the entire tassel is common, is also acceptable. So there is no problem. I mean, me personally, I like when it's a little longer. So it's a little longer. Okay. So continue. Therefore, in order that the ratio should be achieved, he should make sure that each link in its accompanying knot measures a thumb breadth at length. Okay. So that all of the links together will be equal to the 4 thumb breadths. So basically, they give you like how to make it perfect. All of the parts of the tassel made up with the hanging strings should be 8 thumb breadths. One more time. All of the parts of the tassel made up of the hanging string should be 8 thumb breadths. So like minimum of 8. No, not the 8 thumb breadths, meaning this what we said before. Okay. If the length of the hanging strings will be longer than 8 thumb breadths, we should make the links 2 slightly longer, so that 1/3 of the 1/3 to 2/3 proportion is preserved. Basically, they say how to make it like look nice. It is good to make sure that to all of the nuts of the tzitzis, from the 4 corners of the originally hang down on one side of the hole, while the 4 strings that originally hang down from the other side. So one more time, and let me try to understand. It is good to make sure that all the four nuts of the tzitzis from the 4 strings that originally hung down on one side of the hole, with all of the 4 strings that should be hung on the other side of the hole, other side. So commentators say, and we're going to explain what does it mean. So many they're trying to tell us that it has to be proportional on all of the 4 tzitzis. I mean, otherwise it looks ridiculous. There is the middle of the in the middle of the knotting process. One should not form the knot by randomly choosing any 4 strings to tie with the remaining 4. Rather, one should take the 4 fringes that originally were hanging from the other side of the hole and tie them with the remaining 4 fringes that were hanging down from the other side. Okay, it's on one hand it's all technical details. On another hand, I mean we need to at least to read it once. So we of course most likely, I don't want to say, of course, most likely we're not going to do them, all of the fringes, but at least we need to go over these details at least once. Okay. In this way, each of the 4 original strings will end up with half of the hanging down on one side. If one of the final on one side of the final knot of the tassel, and one half on another. Okay. Commentaries. So they say see picture. So I show you my picture. No. See below. They say see below. It's not picture. See below. It's C13. Okay, we're going to get to it. Commentary. If the tassel was made in this way, the result will be that both halves of the same string can be hanging down from the same side of the lowest knot, which is ridiculous, right? The disadvantage that would result from situation will be explained below. Okay. It's a little technical, but I hope you're okay. You okay? So to go once through the technical things.
It's okay. We'll get through it.
We get through it. But me personally, I mean, I'm not planning to make the tzitzis, but at least I feel very bad to skip things in a halacha. It's a big disrespect. So if our sages put it, so they put it for a reason, and we get in the word as we said for every word, for every letter that we learn. Okay. So continue. The halacha of Ve'lo min he'osu, mention a sea of 3, is introduced in this sea. We're going to learn what is it, and some of the application are presented. Okay. If the making of the tzitzis, one did not cut the strings from each other at the beginning of the process to produce the 4 strings, but rather he took one very long string, doubled it twice, so that it now 4-folded, and then inserted these 4-fold strings in the form of in one hole without cutting the end of C diagram. I'm going to show a diagram. He will then tie the strings and only Then did he cut the ends, producing the 4 separate strings hanging in one hole. The tzitzis is invalid. So basically, here's a picture. So instead of you using 4 separate strings, so he used this one long string. Right? Can you see it good? Is it clear?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So basically, he double and double and double, and he got 8. Right? Where he got? I'm not sure. 8. 2, 4. Yes, he got 8, but they're not correct. So if he did this and that cut them open, it's invalid. Very interesting. So this is invalid, even though they all now looks like correct, but that's not what we do. Okay. So as we said, we take 4 and we double, and that's the procedure. For the verse in Dvarim, Sefer Dvarim 22:12 states, "You shall make yourself twisted strings." There is a tzitzis. So that's why we make it always twisted. And we interpret the verse in Menachos 40b, that's another book, to teach us that the halacha that you shall make the tzitzis, and you are not to use that which was already made. Okay. So meaning very interesting. So made tzitzis, from the beginning. So you cannot take with this one long rope and bend it many times. Okay. This means that that it is required that the Tzitzis Tassels, at the time that it is made, there is a tie to the garment, must be in accordance with the law of the Tzitzis. So very straightforward. So from the Psukim in the Torah, they say that's how you must do. They have to be kosher from the beginning. They should not be made in a manner that halachically invalid, and afterwards made halachically valid through some action, some separate action that will result in their being formed in a proper manner, for it would still be considered invalid. Okay. So they have this interesting concept, right? So the product of something that is tamei is always tamei. There is only one exception, right? So product of something that is impure is always impure. Do you understand? So if it was started in a wrong way, that's now how the Torah prescribes. So he tied it beautifully and everything is aligned and blah blah blah, but it's not valid. So that's another reason that you have to buy the Tzitzis and all other things from reliable people. Okay. Other application of this rule. Likewise, if the Tzitzis Tassels were made correctly on one garment and the garment torn, and one wants to put the Tzitzis Tassels as is on another garment, okay, or even in a case, so you understand, so let me read the commentary and I explain. By tearing the garment, installing the finished tassel, and then reinstalling the garment to below. So basically, there is no picture. So basically, they say if the garment torn, like you're worn out, whatever, you cannot wear it any longer, but you have tzitzis, and the guy wants to cut the corner with the scissors, take the tzitzis, and he has another, let's say, garment, cut the corner, right? Put the tzitzis in and sew. I mean, it's easy solution, but they say it's not going to work because it must be tight, as we said last time, from the beginning. It was not 45. 1 second. Continue. So let's read this sentence again, and we continue. Likewise, if the tzitzis was made correctly on one garment, and then the garment tore, and one wants to put the tzitzis on as is on another garment, or even if in a case when he tore, he would want to reattach the tzitzis tassel to the same garment. So he wants to put it back, so it's not going to work. For example, if the tallis garment tore from the hole in which the tzitzis were inserted until the end. So basically they fall out completely, and now he wants to put it back and sew back. Like it's not going to work. This tzitzis too would be invalid. So if they still hanging on the garment, so you can sew like the tear up to the hole, there is no problem. But if they were completely removed, so you cannot put it back. You have to untie them and tie when you fix the garment for tie it on the hole. That's a place in the hole. Okay, and then they sew up and tear the talus to the tear talus. So we said that's not going to work. From the end of the garment until hole, so that's he's trying to fix. With the result of the Tzitzis Tassel will be hanging in the garment as it was before. This Tzitzis is too is invalid. So he's trying to restore completely and he's trying to sew back. It's not going to work. Due to the rule, you shall make it. So that's from this verse, from this piece of verse. They say you shall make it. You mean from the beginning, and not use that which is already made. That's the rule. The third application of this rule. So we do this. We finish this CF and this stuff. I guess. Third application of this rule. Likewise, if he tied the tzitzis onto the garment, okay, he tied. At the time that this garment did not require tzitzis to be fixed upon it, for example, when the majority of the side of the garment was sewn closed, so as we said last time, so if it must be open here, like most of the thing, right? Most of the, like, what is it, the length. So, but for example, he had his let's say t-shirt. He wanted to tie the t-shirt. So basically, he tied, but there were no corners. And then he cut this t-shirt open. It's not going to work because he tied these tzitzis when this garment did not require the tzitzis. Okay. 1 second. So. At the time, the garment did not require tzitzis to be fixed upon it. For example, when the majority of each side of the garment was sewn closed. Okay, see discussion. Okay. And after the tzitzis were fixed, he untied some of the stitches. So basically, he tore or untied some of the stitches. So now it's mostly open. So the majority of each side is open. And the garment now requires tzitzis to be tied upon it. Okay, so basically now it requires tzitzis, but the tzitzis is invalid. If the tzitzis are left the way they are during the process, they are too invalid. As we said, due to the rule, you shall make it, and not use that which is already made. Okay. Rather, in all of these cases, he must untie tzitzis and retie them in accordance with halacha. So, as we said before, from the beginning, he untied and tied together. So, I mean, from this concept, you get in the feel like what halacha is. The same rule applies to all similar cases. Commentary. For other application of this principle, see CF3 below in CF15. We're going to learn. I think that's enough of technical details. And that's so okay. So it's open for questions. So whatever questions you have,
So
any subject, go ahead. I'm ready.
I'll ask you this question first. So it's a commandment, it's a mitzvah to make your own Torah, right? To make your own Torah scroll, correct?
Write your Torah. Okay, yes, go ahead, yes.
Right. So, what's the reason? I'm fine if there is no reason. I'm just asking what is the reason, because if there is a reason, I feel like it connects to something I want to say about Tzitzit.
What is the reason to write the Torah? So it would be Torah in the world. But as you see, there is no 1-to-1 ratio of Jews to the Torah. So meaning that not every Jew is writing the Torah. It seems like it. Seems like it, which is not true. So our sages said that what is the minimum requirement of the writing of the Torah? Minimum requirement of the Torah to write one letter.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when they ordered to write the Torah, for example, in Israel, right? So they bring here the Torah, but it's incomplete. So and when they order this Torah, they say how much incomplete they want it. Why? Because, for example, one person would sponsor the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
cost, let's say it's about Ashkenazic Torah, it's a little cheaper because it's like it's only have this poles like wooden sticks.
Mm-hmm.
In Sephardic, it says like this or the silver box. So it's of course you understand it's much more money, but like to write of the Torah, it's the same amount of efforts, I guess. So and they ask you how much is unfinished. Why? Because usually people sell each letter. So if you want a mitzvah, for each mitzvah you have to pay. There is nothing free, as we heard today many times, right? So you have to pay. So and people say so. The owner say, for example, I wrote one letter. I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years, whatever. And he said, since you're my friend, I'm his friend. So he wants to sell me for $18. So 18 like high. Well, I mean, I don't know how much he charged other people, but basically that's it. So you come, you hold the feather of this scribe, or you hold to his hand. So he performed the mitzvah, but you helping him with the mitzvah.
I understand. So this is what I thought. So in Perkei Avos, somewhere, I can't remember exactly, it says, the reward that you get with your own hands is greater, right? The reward is sweeter. So I thought that when you write the Torah by yourself, you understand the value of the Torah more. So the same goes with tzitzis. When someone does tzitzis by themselves,
Sure. But you see that okay, it's good comparison, but you cannot compare tzitzis to the Torah. For the tzitzis, it's basically. I mean, what we just read that the first is the first for like revulsion is like with a loser. The closer when you go to 11, you have to 13 like you're a little tighter. It's all beautification, but basically, if you don't do that, it's still kosher tzitzis. Don't think it is wrong. So and even if I don't know if you practice like I don't know like 5 times, 7 times, 10 times, 20 times, you will be able to write it. But with the Torah laws, so there's so many details and so many things, and you like even without like the way I understand, even without all of this all the technical details, just you have to be very artistic, to write in a beautiful way.
mm-hmm.
So if somebody's clumsy, I mean, it's an ink. It's going to spill out. It's very like a precise job. So you have to be like artist.
So I'll ask you one more question. It's a simple question, but it might be a complicated answer because I saw because I was reading the daily Humash, right? And there was one part, I'm pretty sure, one second, let me get to it. It's in Exodus chapter 16, verse 20, okay? It says, but some men did not obey Moshe and left over some of it until morning. The manna, okay? And it bred worms and became putrid, and Moses became angry with them. Now, going by the Rashi commentary, it says the verse is transposed, meaning that first it became putrid and then it bred worms. But in the Torah it says it bred worms and it became putrid. So why, usually the Torah says the first thing first and the second thing second. So why over here does the Torah say the first thing second and the second thing first?
Okay. So I think so. First said it became putrid, and then it brought worms. Okay. So, but Rashi said it's opposite.
No, no, no. The Torah said it bred.
Worms. Worms for worms, right?
Yeah. It switched.
So I think if I remember it correctly, so that's it was discovered like much later.
Mm-hmm.
So like in the olden days,
Uh-huh.
they saw the food first would spoil, and after sometimes you would see worms.
Mm-hmm. See
But one second, let me finish.
What?
But it's actually everything. It's opposite. The worms were there first,
Uh-huh.
and only then when they start like the food start decomposing, so you see that the worms grew, and then they see the worms.
Uh-huh.
I give you one example. So if you have nothing else to do when you're tired, whatever,
Uh-huh.
so go to YouTube and search the worms in pork.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen that?
What? Never.
Okay, so just listen to this and see if you would believe me. So they took fresh piece of pork, steak, whatever, a piece of meat, and pour Coca-Cola. They wait, I don't know, a few minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and you see the worms. You see the worms coming out of this piece of pork.
Uh-huh. I understand. See, the Ramban, Nachmanides, he has I like his explanation a bit more. So Rashi just says it was switched over here.
Yeah.
Maybe in an earlier Rashi commentary he explains that, but Nachmanides says, no, it was actually a miracle because usually in nature, it first becomes putrid and then the worms. But over here, actually, no, the worms came first. Then it was putrid. Why did this happen? Because who can change nature? HaShem can change the black. So this was miraculous manna. So what happened? HaShem wasn't happy with these two people that did this, and so if it became smelly first, they could leave the tent and then they could go outside. But if the first one first, while they're sleeping, and then it becomes a smell, or they have more punishment. I like that explanation a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan, you have any questions?
No, you guys actually explained everything pretty well. It was pretty interesting.
Great. Leib, thank you so much.
I love playing with you guys, seriously.
Thank you. Okay, Tuesday.
Okay, so let me stop recording 1 second, and then we continue. Stop.